Hey everyone, welcome to Fit Chicks Chat. I'm Amanda Quinn, and on today's podcast, I am beyond excited because I have the amazing Kaylin Foulin. Hey Kaylin.
Hello, thanks Amanda for having me on.
I am so excited to have you on. I have been following your career for a long time. I have been a huge fan of what it is that you do and what you bring to the world. And so having you here to chat with us and share your knowledge is really exciting, especially when it comes to a business side, because the growth of your business of LadyBoss has been extraordinary. Like, it's unbelievable, like mind-blowing. I'm sure you feel that way, and I'm sure you feel blessed every day about it. And so I wanted to just dive in because we have a lot to cover. So I was hoping that you could just start off by really just telling our listeners, like, from a business perspective, because we have a lot of people that listen to this that are just starting out in the fitness industry or just getting going, or they've maybe been in it for a while, but they're kind of figuring out how to get online or what to do. Can you tell us, like, just your beginning stage, like where your business is now from where you started? Because it's, like I said, it's extraordinary. I love this story.
Yeah. Well, we started at flat broke. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Okay. So people that think, like, oh, you have to already have had success to do this. It's totally not true. My husband and I were actually in a network marketing company. That's where we met. We started dating, and at some point we were just like, you know what, this isn't working for us anymore. We can't pay our bills. We can't pay. We were behind on car payments. We were behind on our rent for our house. And we were like, we have to figure something out. We have to do something different. And, that's when we started, we're like, oh, well, maybe we could start some kind of online business, because we really wanted that type of lifestyle at the time of just having the laptop lifestyle. And so I had lost 65 pounds, right? I lost 65 pounds. I was like, I love helping women. And that's what we want to do. And we were walking on a treadmill in Planet Fitness. And we were like, what are we going to do? Right. And, that's when me and my husband were like, we just got to figure it out. And so we got online and started searching. That's when all of a sudden, Russell Brunson and ClickFunnels, I saw an ad, and it just it was divine, really. And we literally sat down and we were like, okay, so let's do this thing. Let's build a program for women. That's the real deal, not the fluff, not all the hype stuff, not all the bad stuff, how I actually lost the 65 pounds, and what were all the tools that I needed that I had to go search a million freaking places for to find along my weight loss journey. How do we do that? And so that's kind of the inception of how the business started. And really it was just sheer, our back was against the wall. Who could we serve? Because we truly believe if we help enough women get what they want, eventually we'll have the things that we want. And if we just add value to the marketplace, the marketplace will speak. And so that's how it all got started, was basically we had to do something different. And we just looked at where our passion was and said, let's do this. And we just started executing.
It's amazing. But I completely agree with you in the sense that, if you're serving and you're actually serving with a purpose and you're providing for other people to help make impact in this world, your life will shift. And when you change your perspective from money to impact, did you find that was a really big role in your business? Did that make a huge difference, do you think?
Yeah, I truly believe that. When we were in the network marketing phase, and totally, you have to believe too, we were so young, right? My husband's 20, I'm 23 at the time. Yes, I'm older than him. Cougar.
So am I. I'm older than my husband.
But I love it. I say 3 years. Most of the year, I'm 4 years older than him.
You scale it back, yeah.
Yeah, we were super young. We were just kind of chasing after the goal, the dream life, and the money and the whatever and the stuff. And then one day we just woke up and realized none of that crap even matters. If we just start, if we just focus on serving women and trying to serve as many people as possible, we'll eventually get there. And that's how God made it happen.
And how many women, to date, how many women approximately, because I know that's a hard number to pull, but how many approximately have you served to date?
It's actually not a hard number to pull because in our company, we have over 90 team members. We look at the number every single day. So
is that your critical number?
Yes, our critical number, we have over 190,000 lady bosses that have joined our program. And to date, of all the resources that we have online, including all the free stuff we give away, we've served over 1.5 million women online.
That's amazing. And so, and your business is strictly online, correct? You don't have any in-person. Well, actually, you did have your convention, your LadyBoss event this past year. Is that really the only in-person that you do? Is everything else just strictly online?
So we have LadyBoss Live once a year, and it's our annual bring everyone together type of thing. It's so much fun. But yeah, that's the only in-person event that we do.
Cool. Now, what would you say was sort of your biggest challenge with owning your own business? Not even just starting, just owning your own business. What did you find was your biggest challenge, and how did you kind of overcome that?
I'm going to hit you with one that's probably not one you hear a lot.
Yeah.
But outside of the business itself, like the hardest part, I think, was my husband and I learning how to be a married couple and how to be business owners together.
Yeah.
And because especially like in the beginning, it's like you both want to learn Facebook ads and you both want to learn this and you both want to like write scripts and you both want to write, you both want to like come up with all this stuff. And
Yeah.
so it was hard finding that really like a rhythm between the two of us where we weren't overlapping. We needed to divide and conquer. And so we sat down and we made a list. It was really me wanting to do all of his stuff too, because I was like, oh, that's so cool, right? And we made a list and we wrote Brandon and Kaylin. And we both wrote like, here's what Kaylin is really good at. So I'll be like, here's what I'm good at. And then I wrote like, here's what Brandon's really good at. And then I came over and then he would write down like the same thing, right? And we compared those notes and really just said, okay, like, here is Kaylin's side of the line. Here's the things that Kaylin is good at. Like Kaylin is not going to be the one running Facebook ads and like doing math. Okay. That's not all right. Kaylin will not be hiring and doing like customer support. Like those things are not for Kaylin. And so it really two of us, right? And really learning how to like divide and conquer in our business and how to have a relationship, because so many people, so many married couples are in business together. And even if you're not married, right? Like couples that are in business together, and you try to separate, for so long we tried to separate like relationship from business. And we're just like, okay, now it's home time. Like don't talk about business,
Yeah.
We realize our business is our life and it's going to come up in conversation and it's going to be going on 24/7. And you just have to like take that in stride and recognize it, because then it's like, it's not this awkward, like, okay, we're at home now, so don't talk about anything.
Yeah.
And it's such a struggle. It was such a struggle trying to do it that way.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I'm not in a business with my partner, but I have a partner in my business and is my best friend. So it was similar in the sense that, because when we started our business, she was like my wife in the sense that when we first started our business, we lived together, we traveled together, we hung out together, we did everything together. So it was that same, and we went through that same sort of struggle of like, okay, well, we're at home now, so we shouldn't be talking about like accounting or whatever. But it just happened. It'd be like 11 at night and we'd be like pulling out numbers and doing these things because it was just, it's our life. And so I guess for anyone listening, don't be afraid of that. Like, don't be afraid of the crossover. Don't try to like prevent it, because if it starts happening, obviously if it consumes you, I think that's different. But if it's like something that's needs to be talked about, I think that don't try to like just hold it back because you're at home. It's a good point. Now, what would you say is one of the biggest maybe mistakes or lessons? We like to think of it as lessons. What would that be in terms of your business, and how did you learn from that and grow from it?
So our biggest one is like, especially in the internet marketing sphere, it's like most people, like they want to create a product and they want to sell it online and they want to like throw it at their customer and like run away and like never talk to the customer again. And that's kind of how we were in the beginning, because number one, like, I don't think we were super confident in what we were doing, because we're like, oh, like it's just me-itis, right? I'm like, I'm just Kaylin and I'm weird and I'm awkward and like, who knows what's about to come out of my mouth? Like, who am I to, stand on this platform? And so, it's really interesting in the beginning, because so like, that's how internet marketing, like 99% of people are. It's like, oh, let's sell this ebook, let's sell this thing. And then like, let's not have customer support. Like, let's just hope to get on their reoccurring on their bill and like them just forget about us and then pay $20 a month for forever. Like that's how most people like think about having a business. And it's true. And it's really like, that's really transparent. And so like in the beginning, we were kind of like, yeah, like we'll just do a monthly subscription. And like, and we were nervous about talking to the customer because we didn't like fully believe that what we had put into the marketplace was the best. And it actually was. And when we made that shift of like, that like was a huge mistake for us. Like trying not to not listening to the customer, trying not to like communicate with them, like hoping they would forget about us. When we transitioned from that to like, how do we give our customers like the ultimate experience? Like, how do we go above and beyond? Because, when you interact with a company and they give you excellent customer service, you could have been like pissed. Like you could have been so mad, and then they give you good customer service and you're like, I'm going to keep buying from them. Like I'm not mad at them anymore. Like, wow, that was a great experience. We totally flipped it on its head about 3 months in. because it didn't take us long to realize it.
Yeah.
And we totally flipped on its head. And now like our customer support team makes up like the majority of our, of our team, because it's so important, like how you communicate with your customers, like that you're not just throwing stuff at them and running away, just truly serving them at the highest level. And if you do that, like you'll be ultimately rewarded, and just getting out of that stigma of like internet marketing, like selling stuff online and like turn and burn them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And just really caring about the people that you serve. That's really it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think there is that sort of idea online, the whole like buy it and forget about it. And it's just, oh, it's only $20 a month. So they won't remember, they won't notice it on their bill. That mentality is crazy, because it really is just like, you're not worried about actually providing the end transformation, the value that your customers are actually searching for and in need of. Right now, how did you, what was the thing that kind of made you realize that though? Like, what was the one thing that kind of made you realize that was the biggest shift that you needed to make?
I think we went from like wanting to build an online business and like live a laptop lifestyle to realizing when transformations started coming in and I started reading them, and I have cold chills. I literally have cold chills thinking about it. I started reading the emails of like how we're actually changing these women's lives, and like how they see themselves differently in the mirror, and just realizing like these are real people on the other side. Like this is not a transaction. This is not a credit card number. Like this is a real freaking person that has a daughter, that like she is trying to change her life to be able to like show her daughter and be a great role model to her daughter. And so then it's just like, it becomes so real and so heavy to you that you're like, oh my gosh, like these are real people. Like I'm actually helping them. Like, why are we like trying to put a barrier between us? Like we need to like push harder and go after them and help them as much as we can, because they are real people,
Yeah. So it's like really about taking that responsibility seriously and understanding that it is your responsibility when you're selling something.
It's so true. Most people don't see it as a responsibility. Like they see it as like a transaction, or like, oh, like made a sale, but it's not it. Like it is a responsibility. Every person that you bring in as a customer, like their result is your responsibility. And if you aren't delivering that, like you should not be in business doing what you're doing.
Yeah, no. And so how do you feel about businesses that are, because for you were selling a program that you built based on your own experience. This is truly what you did to transform your life. How do you feel about people that are in business that are doing something that they have never necessarily experienced? Do you feel like that from a business standpoint is a good strategy?
From a business standpoint, I wouldn't say it's not a good strategy. Yes, I would agree with that. But there's some people that like, they might have expertise in that area. I'm just someone that believes like, I shouldn't take weight loss advice from someone who hasn't lost any weight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's really the platform I stand on, is like, how can you tell me what I'm going through if you haven't been through it yourself? And so, I can't really speak for like other categories of business, but I know for like in weight loss, for in my platform, in my industry, like 100%, because it's so emotional. Like it's so emotional, it's so mental. And if people haven't had to go through that process themselves, you can't really coach other people to walk in those shoes,
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree with that. I also think like there are some coaches out there that maybe haven't necessarily had to do the transformation, but they've transformed people in their like life, like their family or friends or something. Yeah, and I would say that sort of would be attributed to the same, but like, yeah, I feel the same way, because you have the emotional side with health and fitness is probably more important than the physical side, because like I believe the physical side, everyone kind of knows that they should move their body and they should eat healthy, but it's like getting rid of like the stories and all that stuff inside of us that holds us back, right?
Yes.
Now, what would you say, like in terms of your business, what would be your biggest accomplishment? The one thing that you're just like, it lights you up every time you think about it.
Well, I have a couple. There's like these little milestones, it's like, I think our first customer, like our very first customer, like we first like launched our funnel online. Her name was Yolanda, and she was our first customer. It was like $23.17. And like, that was just like, we were like, oh my gosh, like we were so far in debt. Like it was crazy. And so the fact that like it worked, like that was such a huge moment. Like I remember that more than I remember hitting like 40 million. You know what I mean? Like I remember Yolanda, like, oh my gosh, Yolanda, like we were jumping around in our living room, like Yolanda,
We love you. Yeah.
Yes. And then I really think like when we hit the 100,000 mark for LadyBoss's serve, that was a huge one for us. Like that was something that our whole team was just like on board. Like let's get to 100,000. Let's get to 100,000. And that's how we feel now about 250,000. We're like we're almost at 200,000 now. Like let's get to 250. Let's get to 250,000 women that have joined our program. And I definitely think the other one was this year I placed silver for Female Entrepreneur of the Year, which was really cool. Because it's like you have so many entries. Yeah, and so that was really cool because it's not just me, like it's the whole team, right? Like it's my name, little thing, but like the team like that works so hard for that. And our transformation system, our supplement line, it got Consumer Product of the Year for bronze. So that was really
congratulations. Cool. That's amazing. That's really cool.
Yeah.
No, I just want to like go back 1 second and just talk about this critical number thing. Because I know I understand it, but I don't think a lot of people understand why it's so important. So would you explain to our listeners like why you're focused? Because you were saying, you want to serve, you want to get to 250. You're talking about 250,000 women served. You're not talking about a number because I know your finances are different than that. But you want to talk about that. Why is it so important for people that are starting out to focus on the number served versus the money, like as a monetary goal?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for us, like our critical number, total LadyBosses is like our critical number, and our whole team looks at it every single day. And when you become like impact focused, like those numbers can shift, but you're like, that's still like we still serve 200 women today. Right? The revenue, the profit's going to change. It's going to go up and down. But if you focus on like how, and you're constantly thinking, how can we get in front of more women? How can we serve more women? Like that revenue, it's going to come, but if you're constantly focused on like, how do we serve? Like it's such a big shift when you take it off of like income and onto impact, like how everything will just explode. Because like, there's just like something funny about changing it from like money focused to like people focused, like servanthood. And when you start, and you have your whole team behind that, and like every day we read LadyBoss testimonies, like every day we read them in front of the entire company, and we're like, here's the story of today. This is Susie who's lost 60 pounds. And like, you're like, wow, like that's just one of the 500 people we signed up today, of whose lives are changing. And you just put the focus there. Like everyone can rally behind that. Everyone can get excited about that. And it just keeps the morale of the company, and it keeps the right focus in line, because like our mission at LadyBoss is to help women lose weight and love themselves again, and like if we keep that focus, like everything else, it'll do its own job,
Yeah. And did you find too, when you switched your focus from monetary to a critical number, that it also changes the way that you show up in the marketplace, the way that you market, your voice, everything? Because it no longer, like I find sometimes when you see marketing that's focused on dollars, when you can tell, it almost has like this, like, I don't want to use desperation. I can't think of a better word though, but it almost has like this feeling of like, desperation or like need, like they're like, oh, just buy, like almost like that sleazy salesman kind of vibe to it, versus it being about like, I really just want to help you. Like, I want to help you get to this place because I've done it and I know I can help you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is like, I feel like our message has always been that way, but the way that we were keeping score didn't match our message.
Right.
So we were always very like, hey, this is what I've been through. Like, I've been through it myself. Like, this is why I can help you. But like our goals on the other end, like, and don't like be wrong. We still have revenue goals because revenue equals people, right? Like,
of course,
those belong to women, right? But we started focusing on that number. It really just brought the two together, and it made it congruent on both ends. Like on the front end, how I speak to these women, and on the back end with our team, just really made it congruent.
Cool. And now, what would you say is your goal with your business? Do you have like an end goal? Do you have sort of the biggest vision? Because I know that, you're growing so fast. Like how long have you been in business for? 3 years?
Yeah.
3.5? Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and you've grown so quickly. Like, where do you see it going from here?
We want to be the biggest women's weight loss platform in the world. That's my goal. I want to take down all these other weight loss companies. That's like
going down.
Like to be the biggest women's weight loss company in the world. Yeah.
Amazing. It's perfect. I love that you say that though with so much like, feeling to it instead of like shyness. Cause I find that some people, when they say their goal, like when we started Fit Chicks as a brand, 10 years ago, we started our company and we grew it to be Canada's largest women's only health company. And now we run this education platform. But when we started it 10 years ago, we always said that we were building a fitness empire. Like that was the word that we used. And we were like very clear about it. And people would like laugh and like be like, oh, that's so egotistical or whatever. But we're like, no, like that's our vision. Like that's what we want. Now we want to grow like the largest online education platform for trainers, right? And that's kind of where we're going. But it's just, it's interesting. I like that you say it with like.
Bro, people have been laughing in our face for 4 years now, and they laugh no more. They're like, oh, they actually went and did it.
That's amazing. Now, if you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice from when you started, that you wish that you would have known, or for anyone that's listening right now who is just maybe starting out or struggling in their business, what would that piece of advice be from a business perspective?
Execute.
Yeah.
Action is the cure to everything. And in today's world, and like with all these gurus out there and all this information and all these people that do internet marketing, all these people that have businesses, like there's so much information. There's not lack of information, there's lack of action. And I feel so many people get caught up in like, oh, I need to learn the next thing, or I need to read the next book, or I need to take the next course, or I need to figure this next thing out. And people do not take action. They are consumers of information that don't implement it. And so me and my husband have a rule. We say like, we are not allowed to read something, watch something, or like do something new unless it's something that can be immediately implemented into our business that we need right now. Like we're not allowed to be consumers of information, because people get analysis paralysis. We get stuck in this like realm of consuming the information but not implementing it into our business. We don't take action. We hide behind trying to learn more and trying to gain more information instead of like going and doing the scary part, which is like the actual doing. So taking like executing faster, the faster that you can take information and execute it, the faster that you can move, like that's what makes your business move. Right? That's what makes the business move. And so the faster that you can take action, like the better off you're going to be and the more momentum that you're going to build. And then you keep that momentum by continuing to take action. So unless there's like, right now Brandon's working on building our organization, right? We have like 90 employees now. It's crazy. And so he's reading on organizational development for a business. And like, but that's something that's immediately implementable into our business right now that we need. And so I think just like that would be the number one thing, just take action faster. Yeah.
No, it's a great piece of advice, because I do agree with you that people they get stuck in this. I feel like I need more. I feel like I'm never ready, or like they keep second guessing themselves instead of just putting into action to see if it works even. So
just go do it.
Yeah.
You're going to be afraid all the time. That's what I'm saying. Like you are always going to be scared. Every time I still make an ad, like I still get nervous. Like I'm still like, oh God, I'm about to do this. Every webinar I'm about to do, like every single time. You know what I mean? Like I still get scared, so nervous. So I'm just like, you know what I ask myself? Here's the question. Here's the secret sauce right here. I ask myself, what happens if I don't do this?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, if I don't do this, like these women that don't know the truth about losing weight, like they're never going to know the truth. They're going to still be sitting on their couch. And I start like walking myself through like, and then it becomes scarier than making the video. And then I just like make the video.
It's like the worst case scenario. You play the worst case scenario in your mind.
Yeah.
No,
what happens to them if I act like a scared little girl, like what happens, they don't get help. And like their life doesn't change because I was afraid to make a video.
Yeah. No, that's a really, really good tool. That's very useful for a lot of people, I think, for sure.
I use all the
time. Well, unfortunately, I feel like there's so much more we could talk about, but we do have to wrap it up. But why don't you tell all of our listeners who are curious to learn more about LadyBoss and your story and what it is that you have to offer and the impact that you make in the world, how they can find you?
Yeah, so LadyBoss.com is obviously is the easiest way. What's really cool is we actually just opened up our affiliate program to work with partners for other people that have businesses, that are looking for a platform that they want to help serve people and help people. So that's LadyBoss.com/partners. And it's really cool because we get to help make an impact together, because we have, the platform is incredible and the amount of women that we serve is just amazing. So that's like definitely the way to get more information. And I just thank you for having me on and letting me be crazy for a little bit. So
no, it's amazing. It's such a joy chatting with you. All right, guys. So definitely check out ladyboss.com. Check out the affiliate program for more information. And if you're interested in more information about our programs as well, make sure you check out thechicksacademy.com. All right, Kaylin, thanks so much. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye everyone. Thanks for listening.